businesses moving because you deserve to feel proud, confident, and seen. Today we have a wonderful guest. Michelle Vilms is joining us, and we can't wait for you to hear her story. Deb, take it away.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm thrilled Michelle's here. Just thrilled.
I'm so excited to talk to you guys. You have the best podcast. There's so many things that come out. I'm a little nervous, but it's
Why
gonna
are
be
you nervous?
okay.
It's just three
Oh,
girls
because
talking.
I don't know what you're gonna say. I can be prepared, but you never know what Deb's gonna say. So let's
I
get
wanna
to
know,
it.
how did we meet? Tell people how we met.
Well, I probably knew you before you knew me, because I probably saw you speak at Scaling or something like that. And then, I during the pandemic, I might have seen your husband in a yellow towel often, or known about. I would say the time that we met, that we would be colleagues, would be going to Appy Camp on that ranch, and talking
That was
about
fun.
real estate.
Happy Camp.
And that got me thinking about my house, right? But sitting in a group of people and letting yourself meet someone else, and you were open to it, right? And it was a good 60, 75 group of Appy Camp people. And so I would say that's where we met. And then I've seen you grow along the way, which is also, as we all are moving to a different decade or chapter, it's like, don't people say to you, like, when are you going to slow down? And I'm like, I didn't have that plan. Like, I'm just doing what I do. Like, why are you bothering me? And then
Right.
I see you. I did the speaker course, TOPS course, and then I see you get up there and tell your story. And what you find is people have a story that needs to be told, and it really helps other people grow confidence. And so that's really how we met. And Donna, we haven't met in that way. I think that you guys accosted me for an interview, like walking down a hallway or something. That's when I first
Oh,
met
Michelle,
Donna.
we have met in person.
Yeah, that's
We
when we met
have.
in person. Yeah, with the
We
microphone.
met
Tell us
at
your.
no. We met at an accounting conference in San Diego. I don't think they run it anymore. At
Oh,
at
I
like
know what you're talking
one
about.
of the evening things, and you came up to me and started talking to me, and I'm like, why is someone talking to me? I don't know anybody, because I was like, oh my gosh, I was
I'm
like
lear-
so overwhelmed, and I was like, well, this is neat, and I was
Oh,
like, oh yeah, and I thought, wow,
okay.
someone knows who I am, and I was like, I was like me, very introverted.
Donna's an
Why are
introvert, if you
people
can believe it.
talking to
I
me?
can believe
And
that. Well,
yeah.
I so I grew up in the military, and I can tell you that I have a keen awareness for people that are wallflowers or not in a group, because I was always new. And so I have practiced being that person that is inviting to the people that are new. And so maybe I felt like you were new in the room, and I didn't know. I'm learning more about introverts, just having them on my team. But
Well, you
but
have a
I,
pic.
I
I found a picture of us.
oh, you
Someone
did?
took a picture of us. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And I'm like, I've
I
got to
love
dig it out. But I'm
I
like, oh my gosh.
San Diego was so beautiful. The air in San Diego was just, it was just such a
Yeah.
great place to go. So I love that.
Now, where do you live now? Tell them about your house. You
Okay,
bypassed that
so
quick. So tell them that
Deb's
story.
Deb's heard me talk about my house recently. Um, everyone should have a dream. And I think when we talk about our business side, I have never dreamed big enough when I started about my current firm. I have a firm in downtown Boston. It's a remote accounting services firm where we do all the bookkeeping, controller, CFO stuff, and then we also do workflow integration. But here's the thing, we were QuickBooks online when it wasn't cool. We were remote before it wasn't cool. But I had this dream when my kids were at home, like I could work at home and I could build this business. But I only thought about me. Right? And so fast forward, I'll tell you about the house, is I just had this dream, like, and every summer it would be the same thing. Oh, I wish I didn't rent this little cottage. I wish I just had my house of my own. And I started to collect things, like really not aware. I would have this little cottage box of sheets or a coffee mug. And whenever I would rent, I would open up the box, I would take some stuff out, put my stuff in, and my kids went to camp down there. So I live in downtown Boston, down in Cape Cod. It's beautiful there. And just recently, I partnered up with Kathleen Pinder, who's my business partner, after 7 years of working together. And I sold half my business. And I was like, if not now, I gotta just do it, because you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna spend that money on travel or whatever you're gonna do. And so I believe that when you manifest something like that, it just shows itself. And you're like, so what happened was I went to an open house and there were thousands of people there and it was a great house. And I was like, I'm not ready. Like, I'm a finance person. I don't have my letter. I don't have my, like, how am I going to buy it? I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. So I went home and I was like, if you're really serious that you might, you should go talk to the banker and see if you would. The might, if you would. And I was just prepared. So Deb has heard me. We've been at Reframe and different things like that. I bought this house, and the joy that I feel about accomplishing something is just unmeasurable. That I've made my parents cry. They're like, they watch their kid, right? Like, think about it. They watch their kid, who I'm 61 years old, fulfill their dream while they are still here on this earth. And you're like, wow, like it is rippled to affect so many people in ways that I never would have imagined. And so have a dream. My girlfriend and I would go shopping in the summer. I'd be like, is this going to look great in the beach house? She's like, absolutely. Be in my dream. Be in other people's dreams. Like, yes, you can do that. And so Deb was helpful early on. Like, she was telling me how she and Hal came to live in these different places in Florida. And it was really about like, well, what if I could? What if I could? What would happen, and what does that look like? So I can tell you the after story of that is sometimes you need to plan stronger for your capital improvements, because I've just done what I want. It's a little off the rails, people, but it's beautiful. And if you're ever in Boston, I will show it to you.
Now, do you live there permanently now?
No. So it's an hour and a half, almost 2 hours from Boston. It's, for those of you who know what Massachusetts looks like, it's on a hook. My house is at the very end of like towards the end, what's known as the Outer Cape, which is the national seashore. There's some wildlife out there.
Oh,
There's
wow.
beaches on both sides. The land gets skinnier, so there's beaches
Is that
on
like
both
at the
sides.
top where Provincetown is? Or?
Yeah. So it's like 3 towns from Provincetown. So it's like
Oh,
Provincetown, Truro. Yeah, it's way out there. So you can go out there. There's so many things that you can do out there, but it gets you out of the city. How we started to go there is you can take a ferry from downtown to there. So you can avoid the traffic if you want
So
to.
you can take a ferry from your house. You don't even have to go and drive.
I can take a ferry from my house and maybe take a taxi or get there, or someone picks you up. And that was fun when my husband and I I wanted the kids to go to camp there, so we'd switch off, right? And he would jump on the ferry and I would get in the car, and then he would just walk back to our house. So we live a unique life in downtown Boston. We have quirky things that are not suburb things.
Oh, I think that's great. So
Go
ahead.
And that's how I work. So I would work at the picnic table. I would tell people about being online, and you attract the clients that you want because that's the business that you want.
And you put that out there in the universe.
Well, I did. Do you remember? Did you go to the first QB Connect? Ever?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So think about this. I worked at a large office superstore for 11 years. Corporate, public company, lots of sales conferences, and you know what? You listen to what the CEO says. So I go to the first one. I see Brad Smith. He shows a little graph. QuickBooks Online, really terrible, wink. And all of you, I'll say all of you because you've been in the business probably longer than me. There's like 1,200 people that are naysayers. Like, we're not doing that. And I'm like, I don't know anything about desktop. I'm just going to switch over and do it. If he says it's going to happen.
He was wonderful. Wasn't he the best?
I'm just going to, I'm just going to switch over. And even though it was a crummy product at the time, I'm just going to do service businesses and I'm going to learn it and I'm going to be the expert. And you know what? 15 years later, I'm the expert on certain things within that software, right? But you got to listen at the conferences and say, he said that. He's not kidding. They give out Cheerios. Remember the QB? And maybe it was scaling. I don't know. You get them all. They all get mixed together. But you're like, oh, that was a sign. Like, I'm trying to learn desktop. I hate it. I have to go to people's offices. I don't know about doing the remote thing. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. So let me just do that. And I had the luxury of starting a just dabbling kind of business, which I somewhat regret. I do, because I think I think about my background. I worked in corporate America for like 20 years. I have an MBA, and I decide that I should make $40 an hour doing bookkeeping. Why that to me, why do we go from a place of smaller when you're out on your own? You make yourself smaller. And that took a lot because I would introduce myself to people and my husband would be like, but that's not what you do. Or I was like, no, I work in QuickBooks. So to everybody listening, I would say, fix your elevator speech and make it bigger than you think it is. Whatever you think you want to say it 100 times better than that. You're an entrepreneur, right? You know what I'm saying?
I reconcile
Yeah.
bank accounts and
Yeah.
your clients do not care. It's like
So-
going to the doctor and saying, I give you shots.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
go, who cares? I mean, I want to be healthy. So I said, I always tell people, what do? I make people rich.
You make people rich.
Really?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Have a
I
place
want
to practice
and-
it too.
Right.
I do it.
You
Once
Yeah.
a week.
Does it? Now, what do you say, Donna?
What do you say?
This week I said I was an accounting translator. So
I like it.
Yep.
This week
and I'm like
I'm-
practicing every week because I have found a group I can meet with on Tuesdays. They're just business owners. And they're
Good.
local, which is great because I get to meet them in person too. And every week I come up with a new way to say something. And every week I have at least 2 people contact me for one-on-ones to
I
find
like
out
that.
more.
I like it.
So,
So
yeah,
I
so
had a
I just play
client-
with words.
I had a client that said, Michelle, you can't really be the CFO because you're like, but could you be the chief accounting officer on our website? Yeah, I could.
Good.
Would you like that? Yeah. All right. I'll be the chief accounting officer or chief verification officer. People are like, what is that? I verify. I make sure what you told me is true. I try, because people make bad judgments and you got to make sure they told you the right thing. So I think when people are starting out, I was thinking about talking to you guys today and I was thinking, what happened when we started out? But I've heard you talk, and I think this will resonate with people. Like, stand up for yourself. And so when I was at the superstore, I got passed over for an equity adjustment. And for people that don't know what that is, that's like the marketplace. People in the office on this job level make this, but the marketplace wants $5,000 or $10,000 more for that job at this current time. So they elevate everybody else. Except I didn't have an MBA. And so, but just ironically, I did all the G&A budgets for the whole company. And I asked for the money, and they said, but institutional knowledge doesn't matter. You don't have an MBA. And they wouldn't give me the money. And I was in FP&A, and I was like, okay. So my boss, my direct boss, who could do nothing about it, he was like, you should go to this night program to get your MBA. But the more important thing was marketing had a director of finance, and they paid triple what the equity adjustment was, and they gave me that job. And that was probably and that's what I learned through the speaking class, because I had to do this whole speech. I was like, oh my gosh, I learned how to do operational accounting, and I stuck over myself for the first time ever. Like, ever. I'm like, what is happening? Because you're worth more. And why was that? I started this company. I was here in the back of a grocery store. And now you're telling me because the CFO likes MBAs from certain schools, like I don't matter? Like, no. So I think that's what led me then. Eventually I got my degree, and here's the most important part. Education is power. And that degree gave me the confidence to quit. And I know that. I know I would have never left, and I would have just trugged along at a giant corporation that was really fine, but not fine for me. And I think people that feel that way. So now I have some people on my team that were concerned they might not have gone to college.
Who cares?
I don't care about that. We're an entrepreneurial company. I care that you have grit, that you have curiosity to go out on the marketplace, and do not let that undervalue you.
Right.
Because it is a component of you, but it is not all of you. And some people have way more grit to fix problems and see entrepreneurialness in our clients than a book smart textbook thing that you can learn. And there's value in both.
If we met a CPA or a tax preparer who has all of the cred, I remember there's a tax preparer in town who's a good friend of mine. And he goes, well, when I passed the CPA exam, I got like a 99.
Oh, good
And
for
I
you.
said, oh, Dave, congratulations. When I passed, I got a 75. You know what that tells me? Mine says certified public accountant. What does yours say? It says certified public accountant. Oh, it doesn't
Yeah.
say, and you pass with a 99? No, it does not. I said, you know what that tells me? He goes, look, I said, you studied too hard.
You work
You
too
studied too
hard.
hard.
Yep.
Right, right.
You know,
That's
I mean,
exactly
I got
it.
the same thing. I mean, so am I a failure? Because he goes, well, you're not as smart as me. I go, Dave, I'm much smarter
No.
than you. Because I got
Yeah,
common
you
sense.
left. You got common sense. You left room for the common sense. You can go
Yeah.
look it up in a book if you need to. You
Yeah.
know
The
where
fact
to
that-
find
I mean,
it.
and you know what CPA stands for, all of you watching? Can't pass again.
Yeah, yeah, because it's just know it and be done with it.
Oh, I'm never doing that again. You know,
I know.
but don't,
I
I mean, but
know.
so get the education you want. It doesn't have to be a formal education. Hang out with the people who are where you want to be,
Right.
which is
Who are
how
where
I
you wanna
met
be.
Donna. Donna was, I saw
Right, yeah.
Donna walking around. I thought, I want to be like her. So I walked up to her in QuickBooks Connect, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey, Donna. You know,
I
that's
was
how-
dying inside. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe she's
But-
talking to me.
She's talking to you, but then you talk back to her. So that was good.
Yeah, I
Look
did.
where you are now.
yeah, I'm like,
Took me a
Yeah.
while, but yes. Yes, I did.
I think it's so
but you have a
crazy.
buddy. I mean, we were talking before, and I think this is important.
Yeah.
Donna and I are buddies. So if anyone, if I'm
Yeah.
down, I call her. If she's down, we have
Yeah.
a big celebration. I mean, I talk to Donna more than I talk to Hal, if you can believe it. And in fact, if I don't talk to Donna, usually Hal says, is Donna sick? Is she okay? And Stu, her
Okay.
husband, is the same thing.
My husband's the same way. You haven't talked to Deb today.
Yeah. Like,
You're
what's
talking
wrong
to
with
me
you
too
guys?
much. Is Deb available?
Oh my gosh.
Don't talk to Donna. But it has made such a difference because I feel like with Donna and me, 1 and 1 equals 5.
Yeah.
So
I would.
you
I
have
would
a
say
buddy.
that.
You have a friend in a cohort you work with. So
I
where
do.
did you meet them?
So I took one of the courses through the Woodard group
Mm-hmm.
with Joe Woodard, and that was about 7 or 8 years ago, and we all were in these cohorts together. It was a year-long program about growing your business and building your business. But what happens is, out of that grows a friendship of like, hey, well, I'm a lone business owner and you're a lone business owner. Could we just meet? And so we just made a standard workspace where we had a Slack group, but we had a Zoom every week. And now I was telling Deb, like it's almost, I think it's 8 years that we just, the space is there 9:30 on Tuesdays. And sometimes it's more friendly, like talking about houses. My girlfriend's building a house, right? So we're like, oh, tell me about the house, tell me about the colors. But then, oh, this happened today. Someone quit. I got to fire someone. I don't know how to do a severance agreement. I don't know what to do emotionally. I'm like so spent emotionally. Let me hang on. What should I do? People are coming in like, I want to sell my business. I told her about what Kathleen and I becoming partners. You would not believe how many people like were negative about that. Like, do you think I didn't think about, like, thank you for all your negativeness.
Yeah.
Like, but what if it does work, right? Okay, thank you. But, and so to have just a voice that's going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're an idiot for not charging more money, and you need to go put your big girl pants on and do it, and then call me
Right.
back. Or practice with me. Do you want to practice? I'll be the
And now it's
person.
just the two of you, or is there more people in your group?
There had been more people, so we wrote. So there was like 5 or 6 people, and then sometimes there's 2 of us, and then people give their different input. And then now one guy's come back because he's like, I miss you guys, and I realized I was missing this gap of like, I need someone to talk to. I'm struggling with like how to restructure my team, and I don't have a person. So find a
Exactly.
person, and it could be more than one person. Like early on, I found my person in like my very first client, and we grew our businesses together. And we would go to lunch and just talk about maybe not every depth of like my business versus his, but actually marketing companies and accounting companies are very similar. And so for him, this is what I said to him. We're all trying to do value pricing and all the things that we're trying to do. And I was like, I guess in the marketing industry, they pay for all like the Google ads and stuff. This was years ago, like 15 years ago. I go, why do you do that? You put it on your credit card and then we're going to bill them back. Like, why? He goes, Michelle, that's just the way it is. I go, well, I wouldn't do it that way. I would make them put it on their credit. Like that was before there were credit cards. So fast forward, I give him all my little weird things that I'm learning and all our pricing things. I'm like, I just think, I go, well, try it with your next client. He's like, I'm going to try that. Now what he does is, he goes, I'm just going to bill him at the first of every quarter. That's what I'm just going to try that. You know what happened? Nothing. Everybody's like, okay. They pay
Yeah.
him the first of the quarter. No prepay on this. He's like, it's my money. It's on your Amex. Why are you doing that? So your clients will listen to you if you're. So I guess that was advisory really early on. But I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not in the marketing space. Like, why would you do that? And when they start telling you, they're like, wait a minute, I don't want to do that.
I know. I
don't
love
wanna
it when
do
they say, "Well, that's how we've always done it." I go, "Well, who's we?
Who's we?
Change it. Why do it
And then your
different?"
clients will change based on
Yeah.
how you want to do work. So we bill up front in case anybody wanted to know that, and there's no receivables at the end of the month.
Right.
If there is a receivable, there has to be a really good reason. Most of the times, you get one grace month.
I always tell people, they always say, "Well, that's a lot." Really? I said, "How much
I
did
don't
you?"
know.
know? I said, "Well, it's a lot less than I was going to tell you, because we don't have receivables. If you want to
Yeah.
pay later, it would
Yeah.
be more because I'm not chasing you for my money.
Right.
So it's much less than it is than I would normally charge because I'm not chasing you for receivables." Oh, really? It's
Yeah.
all anchoring. I mean, and you learn
It's
that in
anchoring.
Reframe and hanging out with Ron
Yeah.
Baker and Ned Kless and all that stuff.
I
what
did
to
try
say.
you gave a good tip about a session one. You're early on, and I have a client that's a gym. He's a fitness studio, and he's like, Michelle, that's a big number. I go, well, what if you just pay me by the week? He goes, sure. And now he pays me more money than he would have.
I know.
I know when I
I've done that
realized
before.
that
It's
when
like,
I was
But
I
he was
thought,
like, okay, I get that. Like by the week they get. So okay, how about
I
by
know
the
if
week?
you get paid by the week, you get 4 extra weeks pay during the year.
I know.
yeah.
It's like, and I figured that out, or I get a whole extra month. And they go, "Oh, I can do that. Oh,
Yeah.
instead of paying me $1,000 a month, pay me $250 a week.
Yeah.
It's the same amount, but you get 4 extra weeks pay."
I know.
So I bill by the
So
week.
I think that's what it is.
It's
All right, I'll tell you.
You see that in sales all the time. Like oh, it's only $1 a day. Yeah, that's or $5 a day. And I mean all the time they talk. I said, well, why are we doing that?
Right? Yeah. So just try
It's
to
like when
figure
they
out
talk
all
about
that.
QuickBooks, how QuickBooks is so expensive. This was when it was $90 bucks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said that's $3 a day for the brains of your business. If you can't afford $3 a day, close your doors.
I can see you giving a lot of thought to this. That's good.
I
That's,
think about all that stuff. I don't want to pay the subscription price. Well, then you're going back to paper and pencil.
Yeah, like, what are you
And
gonna
then my
do?
fee will be $1 million
Right.
because I'm not doing
Yeah.
paper and pencil.
Well, I'm sure you're wasting it on other subscriptions also. So let's
Oh,
think
I know.
about that.
I mean, I see
Like,
the Netflix and the coffee runs and
Yep.
the
Yep.
Paramount. And I said, when was the last time you watched the PBS that you paid for?
Yeah.
You know.
It's kind of crazy. It is crazy. So
So we just have to talk. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of mean to them. People think I'm mean.
I just think, what drives me is I don't care if you file your taxes. Like, I want you to use the information to make good decisions. I want you to be able to get a credit line. I want you to know where your information is. I want you to really understand it because it's not so scary. So now this year, my focus is on doing some training. We work with some film people. And so there's this women in film group that I was like, oh, I want to hang out with them and I want to help them, like not like personal finance. Some people are W-2s and they're actors or they're something. And we're like, everybody needs some information. So I started with the kids at the Boys and Girls Club doing these budget things, budget 50, 30, 20. Okay, kids will crush you. They're so funny. And they all want to retire early. They're like, how do we do that? I'm like, I don't know. Let's try to graduate first. Let's try to do that because they're in high school. But you talk about wasting money. So in my budget thing, I have them go around and I'm like, okay, let's talk about like what you're like wasting money on, what your favorite thing to do is. These 3 girls, they're like, we go to brunch like every Saturday. You do? Like, I don't go to brunch every Saturday. Where are you getting that money from? What's going on? But they went around, they told all their guilty pleasures. And I was like, just don't judge people on how they waste money because you waste money too in a different way. And they're like, oh, but maybe what if you only went to brunch once a month? Like, your mom has food at home. Maybe you could rotate places. They're like, no. Well, you'll see when you have to pay rent. So trying to explain rent to high school kids is hard, right?
But it's always a choice. I mean, you can either buy this or buy that. I remember how a girl come in, she wanted to pay kindergarten for her kid.
Yeah.
And it was $500 a month. I can't afford it. So I hooked her up to QBO, all the stuff comes in.
yeah.
I said, I see you like coffee.
Yeah.
You spend more money on coffee than his tuition. Go to Wawa's. You can still have your coffee. So you're making a choice. So every time you go to Starbucks, realize you're spending the tuition money.
Right.
Oh, I never thought about it like that. Yeah.
Did she listen to you?
She did.
Good.
And that little
Good.
boy is 18 now.
That's good.
And he's handsome. But you think about it, in fact, I told another guy, I said, well, the reason you have an account to watch over your stuff is to, people, we'll catch stuff that doesn't look right.
Right.
I said, people don't steal $1 million from you.
They don't.
All at once. They steal $1 million, $1 at a time.
It's true.
And before you look up, you go, how come I have no money? Well, you've been, it's going out the back door because one's watching the shop. I'm
Right.
watching the shop.
And we want to do what you expect. Is this what you like? Are you okay with this? Whatever. Somebody buys a dog bed. Did you think Mary should buy a dog bed? But it also, when you start telling business owners, think about if you had an employee who bought, I don't know, books on Amazon with their company credit card. So we're like, hey, we don't know what the company policy is. We just want to ask you, like, is that okay? Or do you want them to pay you back? Or no, what they did was they just thought about it. They didn't say anything to the guy. And then they looked at other parts of his work life and they realized he had bad character, bad judgment, and he got fired. And so when you can highlight things that are just like, I just want to know if this was what you thought. Is it correct? Did you want to go out to eat? Or like, did you and business owners make interesting decisions.
Right.
But I think that's how we can help them. How we can help them is like, I just want you to use the information I want. And if you want to take a phone call with me in your car to talk about your finance, I'm going to reschedule with you. And my whole team is like, you don't value this. And I have a busy schedule.
That.
So we just say we have to reschedule because finances are really important. And if you're not going to pay attention to me, that's okay. That's okay. But now you've lost your time slot. And it's very effective with people. They're like, oh, I don't care if you were in your car and you had to pull over to zoom up your laptop and talk to us. That's different. But we have people driving down the road or I don't know, putting their makeup on. What's
Seriously,
happening?
I have that happen
Right?
so
Do you have
times.
that? And just don't just do not take the insult. Say, this is important, and I would like you to tell me which time of day you are most ready to pay attention to me. And when you are, I'll be ready for you. And they get on board because I'm like,
but
it's very important.
But you taught them how to treat you.
Yeah, you really have to teach people.
They teach people how to treat you.
Yeah, incredible things. I'm like, you can't. That's not cool. But my staff realize you have to empower them. So if you have a staff, you have to say, you have permission to do that. Do not. This is very important. You have to pay attention to me. If I need to show up at the meeting, I will. But no one can be driving in their car unless they need to tell you what's the next time they can talk to you. No.
Right.
And so I think that's how you have to treat people. There's probably a whole other segment on hiring people and the do's and don'ts of what you dream of. Oh, but
well,
that's
I
probably
think hiring. People ask all. In fact, there was a big Facebook post. Somebody said, "What kind of tests do you give them? How much do they know?" I said, "I don't care if they know QuickBooks. I can teach them that."
Yep.
I can't teach them honesty, integrity, showing up all the time, getting along with everybody. That I can't teach. So that's what I look for.
Right.
So,
and you absolutely, there's no 90 days. People are like, do you give people 90 days? No. What I've learned is, in the first 2 weeks. So be honest with yourself.
Be honest. You know.
Yeah. You just know.
At the end of dinner, I want to see this guy again or not. You're out.
Yeah. And when you're a smaller company, you have the liberty to make those, it's just not going to work out.
You can just get a gut feeling. Trust your gut. Trust. If you get it.
The little voice.
Same thing with clients. Don't because they look good on paper. I remember before I married Hal, or met Hal, I dated for a year. And a lot of these guys look good on paper. And then you meet them, Hal did not look good on paper.
That's what I was going to say. You went a tier lower on the paper, and you're like, oh, that's what I was looking for.
Where the magic
Hal, and I
is.
said, well, this guy's pretty decent. I like him.
Yeah.
And it's been 25 years.
That is, I think 25 years is great. I think I'm 20, I might be 29, 28 or 29. But yeah.
Well, this is number 2.
know.
I mean, so I practiced on number 1. you
I'm
know.
still trying to get number one in shape. I don't know. I met my husband at the
I'm
airport.
working on number one. It's like 28 years.
Yeah, I
I
wish
was
he
just
was
working
number
on
one.
it.
You know what?
Just think
He's
if we met when we were 25, I go, I know.
I know. Like, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. People. People are things, but go with your gut. Everybody who's listening, whatever you feel is the right move. Like, you don't need to analyze. We're all analyzers. We're all trying to get it right. And you know what? In the end, if you look back, anybody that I ever hired, I knew the first day.
Yep.
I knew they weren't a good team fit. I knew,
And
or
I
I
have a
just
good
knew.
tip
But
for
I will tell you,
hiring.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
So, first thing, if you're going to hire people, prepare to train them.
yeah,
Prepare to teach them. I will take someone with zero experience, but has great character, wants to learn, is ambitious, all those things over anyone that has years of experience. Because you can teach accounting. You can teach bookkeeping one step at a
Still, like,
time.
you can teach that.
But yeah, it's just a skill. I will take someone right now. I will take, if I had to hire someone, I would take someone that understands how AI works to
Yeah.
help me
And it's
learn
not
it
afraid.
better and not
Yeah.
afraid to do it.
I went thinker.
I'm a Gen Z hirer, anyways.
Yeah.
That's what I
Okay.
would hire.
Where would you look to hire
would
those
show it.
people? Where would
Where
you
would I
look to
look?
hire? Yeah.
Let's see, my community.
Okay.
I would definitely go out in my community. I'd talk to people who I
Awesome.
know have sons because they're in that age group.
Yep.
My son
yep.
is in that age group. He didn't want to do it, so fine.
I know.
I
He
know.
found another job.
I
I know it
know.
would have been great too.
I have one of those.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
well.
want to, but they're out there. An ambitious 20-something Gen Z person.
Right. Willing
I'd
to
rather
learn.
teach them and bring them up and give them the education, and I don't care if they leave. Everyone's like, we're going to teach them to leave.
Yeah.
Teach them to go build something on their own,
Yeah.
because that's going to make it all better for you.
Yeah.
But be prepared to teach them.
Make the place
Yeah.
a place that they want to come. That you're gonna make them better.
Yeah.
They don't want to leave.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to believe that it's a good job. We have a good job for the right person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there are reasons that our team has stayed. We have some longevity in our team, and they stay for reasons that are personal reasons, but they're good at their jobs. And you have to give them, the guidance, but you also have to, especially if you're going from a 0 to a 1 or a 0 to a 3, have you empowered them to do their job, or are they
Yeah.
afraid to do it because they're going to be mad, or you're weird about
Or get
holding
yelled
on to
at or
stuff,
something.
or yeah, and you just have to empower them, and you have to let go, and that delegation is really hard. And like now for me, having a business partner and having to let go of things, I'm like, oh, like this is a whole new chapter of like, I don't know, I'm not as close to every single client, right? Because it's
Hard.
bigger now. So just learning about it, you're like, okay, but I'm gonna accept what that feels like, and talk to people like you and people in the industry. How do you adjust for that? Because it's not a bad thing. It's just like, oh, I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling like I've lost control. I haven't lost control. Someone else is controlling it, like in a good way, right? But those feelings are real. So it's all on how you look at it.
So what's your next big adventure? We're at time now, but I want to know what's your
Oh.
next big adventure.
Oh.
What's next? What's your next big dream? Not now that you have your house and all that.
So my next big dream, so I'm in the crosshairs of my second child finishing college, and people always say, oh, that's empty nesting, that's so sad. No, I'm interested in what they're doing and where I might get to travel. So I just went to Madrid to see my daughter, and I'm like, oh, I just show up where they are. That's kind of exciting to me. And to make sure, so we went to Madrid. My daughter she's studying over there with Syracuse University and having the time of her life. But, just to travel some more, we're going to work, figuring out how we work different. I'm going to hang out at the beach. But I'm working on, I took a little hiatus from the speaking because I haven't figured out what I want to speak about. But right now my passion is to do this finance teaching in business settings that are not with my colleagues, and say, okay, what is that space for me? Women in finance, people my age are getting divorced. I don't know, not to get personal about that, but when you first got divorced, you were already in accounting, so you knew numbers, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that they don't even know if their tax return got filed. Like,
I know.
be smart. Just know. You don't have to do it all, but don't
Right.
be afraid of it. This fear is keeping women squished down. And so it could be business owners who are women business owners, or it could just be women and where are they, and to really be passionate about it. The other category that spans that are women graduating college, and these college kids are lost. They're so lost of like, what's my label? What's my job? And my son's group of friends, they're all struggling. You know, the government jobs got shut down. Like the economy's not great, right? In all sectors. So I could go on forever. But my next chapter is bright because I'm just open to whatever it is. I'm doing some energy healing if you guys ever want to hear about that, and I love it. And it opens my mind to a whole different group of people and what's possible on being grateful. And the more that you can be grateful, you will recognize what's good in your life, and you will just, that what's kind of going wrong will just not show its ugly head. It will be there, but it will be a problem to solve and not a focal point of life.
Well, that's a great way to end it. I think your one big bold message is to be grateful.
Be
Don't you think,
grateful.
Connor?
Yep.
I just
Yep.
think-
Be grateful.
Be grateful every day, and wake up and do the top 3 things you're grateful for and what's going to make today a great day.
That's right.
That's it.
I love it.
That's
Well,
it.
thank you, Michelle, for coming on.
All right. I
You
love
know,
you guys.
it's
I
a
hope
real
to see
joy.
you soon on a trail
So,
somewhere.
Are you going to scaling this year?
I'm going to scaling. I'm going to be in the theater doing a 20-minute.
Oh, yes, I just saw on WhatsApp you got picked to
yeah,
do the theater.
a short little vignette, and it made me so happy. I'm like, oh, I've done this. It's going to be great. So come
Donna
on,
got
put your
picked to the
headphones.
theater, too. She's going to
You
do
did?
it.
I'm in the theater. I'm dragging
Awesome.
Deb with me. We're going to talk
Awesome.
about how we created what we created with Bookkeepers on Fire. So it's going to be awesome.
I love that. I'm going to do a 20-minute on how to do a very quick forecast and talk to your clients in English.
Nice. Oh, I'm definitely showing
It's going to be
up
like
for
that.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Theater's
like
fun.
magic.
I mean, 20
magic.
minutes short.
Yeah, it'll go by fast. It'll
Yeah.
be fun, and so I'm honored to be chosen, and so I will be there, and I'll bring a couple of teammates. So I'll see you guys. Let's try to have coffee, or
Yeah.
I don't know, chat on the microphone, whatever you want to do.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, I'll be
Okay.
there with my camera.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. You guys
All
have a
right.
really great day. All right.
All
Bye.
right,
All right, well-
nights off.
Okay.
Thanks
bye.
for spending time with us today on Bookkeepers on Fire. If something from this conversation stuck with you, carry it forward. Your work matters, your voice matters, and you matter. So if you'd like to be a guest on Bookkeepers on Fire, we'll have just look at our description, and there'll be a link there where you can sign up. So we thank you, and we'll see you next time. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful
Okay.
week.
Thanks again, Michelle.
Have a good day.